Dayne, you played for Coach Weiss, and how much of you being a good fit for his offense played into his decision, and what are some other factors about him that you would recommend playing for him to other guys?
Well, to answer the first part of your question, just having the familiarity with the offense and with Coach Weiss and Coach Paulus, that was huge for me. Coach Weiss and I have had a great relationship since he recruited me out of high school. He's always been someone that I could talk to and rely on, and even when the 2 years that he was not coaching me, was still very supportive and helpful in everything that I was going through and things like that. And I think the relationship that I had with him was the biggest thing for picking up recruiting and coming back here. But just the honesty that you get from him on a daily basis was something that always was huge in my eyes. And the players will quickly find out that that he's going to be honest with you every day, whether it's something that you want to hear or not. But that's something that I completely respect, and it's the greatest feature I find in him.
Was it a struggle for you did you fit the new offense as well as the previous one?
Well, I mean, I was recruited to, for what Coach Weiss wanted to do and those things, but you've got to just adapt and overcome, and do whatever it takes to compete and do things like that. But I feel so much more comfortable, doing the things that Coach Weiss asked me to do, and that's why I committed to him the first time at Notre Dame. So I'm excited to get back going and get to work with my teammates.
Dayne, was it ever explained to you why you didn't start again at Notre Dame after you came back?
No.
What did you ask? What answer were you given? Or?
I guess it was what was told to me was that it was about production, and that's basically all I got.
Dayne, how close were you to going to Wisconsin?
I think that both Kansas and Wisconsin were both very viable options in my eyes, and it was a tough decision. It really was. But at the end of the day, I'm happy being here. I know this is the best fit for me, and I haven't looked back at my decision once since making it.
How many Twitter followers did you gain by signing at KU?
Quite a few.
Dayne, was it just your relationship with Coach Weiss that brought you here? What else about KU made the Jayhawks win out over Wisconsin?
I think that there was so many things that KU had to offer. I mean, really, you can't pinpoint one or two or three things in making a decision that big. But just overall, I think it was the best fit. The coaches, just the facilities, campus, teammates, my experience, in being here, and just overall feel. I mean, there's certain campuses you walk on, and that you step foot, and you just right away that this isn't the place that you're meant to be. And really, I did a lot of just talking with my family and praying about it, and really went back and forth. But just weighing the pros and the cons. I mean, this was definitely the best fit for me, and somewhere that I'm very excited to get working at.
How much was Paul Crist's decision to leave Wisconsin play into that?
It was one of many things, but that wasn't the deciding factor. I know a lot of people want to make that the deciding factor, but that wasn't it.
Justin and Jake, why Kansas for you guys? All the things that went into it. What have you learned about Kansas and playing football here that was appealing to you?
Well, first of all, I think just coming down here and first being familiar with Coach Weiss and Coach Paulus was a huge thing for me. I mean, that was the main reason why I got on a flight to Kansas. I didn't really know anything about it, when I finally landed here and got a chance to get shown around Lawrence, I really fell in love with the town and the community, and just the support that it has for their Kansas sports. And obviously basketball is a huge thing here, but you can just see in the fans and the way the administration talks about football that they want to see it succeed. And I mean, you just look at these facilities in the area and all this, and playing in the Big 12. I mean, they've won here before, and it can be done here again. I think under Coach Weiss, I think all three of us believe that it's that we can win here for sure.
Jake, there's this interesting storyline about really all you guys, and being that even it's Coach Weiss's second head coaching job in college, that kind of all you guys are, it's a bit of a second chance. Is that the way you guys are looking at this? Anybody can actually chime in on this, but is this a second chance, or is it something else?
Well, I think if you don't look at it that way, then it's kind of foolish. I mean, yeah, it is a second chance. We had our first opportunities, and none of us expected to be sitting here today, here in Kansas, when we had all committed to different places. And you don't go in expecting that it's not going to work out. But, at the end of the day, things happen for a reason, and you know, we're all here, we're excited, and you know, in our minds, we could have been in a better situation with Coach Weiss and the rest of the staff.
Justin,
how about you? Can you answer that?
Most definitely. I wouldn't call it a second chance. It's more opportunity. You know, we all wanted the same thing. We probably didn't talk to each other, but we all knew we wanted and why we came here. Because they have great coaches, like as in Coach Weiss. So we all know what he does and what we can do, and just try to help Kansas football.
Justin, why did you choose KU?
I mean, you know, I'm from Kansas City, and it's real close to home, and my family, you know, my background's not the best. So I come home, help my family out, and, you know, have a great opportunity to play Kansas football.
Justin, have you ever seen these two quarterbacks play on TV, and do you like the idea of getting open deep with these guys throwing the ball to you?
Well, we haven't practiced yet, but Jake was my quarterback at the Army game. You know, and Dane's my roommate now, so, you know, we can get real familiar with each other pretty quickly. I'd like that, you know.
Dayne, Coach Weiss has made a few comments about what's awaiting the team conditioning-wise leading up now through spring ball. You play for him. What's awaiting the team?
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to work with Coach Holsopple, but very excited and definitely looking forward to that. But you know, I know that it'll be challenging. You know, it's definitely going to change the culture, you know, of Kansas football, and that's something that's much needed and something that I'm excited, like I said, to be a part of.
Dayne, in your conversations you've had with Coach Weiss over the years, what did you lean on him for? I mean, how helpful was he getting you through things? I mean,
he was great, and you know, I'm not saying that because he's in the room. I mean, it was a relationship that is really, you know, near and dear to me. Is, you know, going through some tough times in the past 2 years, you know, he was someone that I could always, you know, look to, and just had so much experience and just, you know, wisdom that he could share with me. And you know, then when I started thinking about you know, leaving and taking my 5th year elsewhere, you know, he was the first person, you know, I called, and he was always supportive first and never really gave biased answers, and was really just had my best interest in mind at all times, and that's something that I'm very thankful for, and something that I'll always be, you know, grateful for.
Jake, what are you doing academically?
Excuse me for 1 second. Jake, could you introduce your wife, please?
Yeah, my wife is sitting there in the back. Brooke Hughes, that's her. She's just hanging out. So.
I'm trying to give you some brownie points there.
Thanks, Coach.
Are you an overachiever in football as well?
I'll take Coach Weiss for the call if I wasn't.
Trying to help you out.
Thanks, Coach.
Dayne, what's your academic status here? How many hours and what field and all that?
Right. Well, I've already graduated, so in terms of grad school, I met today with academic services, and we worked real hard in trying to figure out some master's programs. At this point, I'm gearing towards sports management. As a graduate student, with the NCAA rules, you take 9 hours, so I'm excited to start my classes on Wednesday and go from there. But it's something that was very interesting to me, and you know, I didn't want to just kind of blow off academics. You know, I took them very seriously, obviously at Notre Dame, and in the, you know, major that I graduated and walked away with, and you know, it was something that I found interesting, and wanted to be able to take something away from here as well, or at least, if not walk away with it, you know, in the time that I was here, at least have an opportunity to be very close to finishing something up. So academic services have been great and very supportive throughout that whole process.
Hey, and Jake, how much did the success of quarterbacks under Coach Weiss getting them to the NFL haven't factored into your decision to come here at all?
I mean, that was something that was huge for me. You know, that's not the end all for me, but I mean, that's been a dream of mine since I was 6 years old. And you know, I've always been told to follow my dreams and follow my heart, and that's something that I continue, you know, that I plan on doing still. And you know, I'm a team guy first. I mean, that's always going to be my MO, and I want nothing more than this for this team to be successful. But you know, I know that if I play as well as I plan on and am capable of doing, you know, and get the team playing better as a whole, you know, at the quarterback position, then hopefully I'll have an opportunity and chance to do that someday.
And, you know, for me, it's the same thing. I think, you know, to have the opportunity to play at the next level is a huge dream of mine. And, you know, ever since I was a little kid in training, you know, from the time I was in middle school, you know, for that opportunity. And I don't think there's a better coach out there than Coach Weiss to you know, help us get to that next level. But, you know, just like Dayne said, this is, you know, if that happens at the end of the day, then that's great. But, you know, our main focus at this time is to work as hard as we can, with our teammates right now and make this experience at KU the best that we possibly can and win as many games as we can as a team.
Justin, you being from the Big 12 and from the KC area, you know this program probably better than your two new teammates do. Can you realistically assess what you guys will be facing to turn this around so there's no more 2-win seasons and KU can become competitive in the Big 12?
Yes, but first, I don't know how the transition is going to be for me. I know I've been here a couple days, but there's a big transition for the players that have been here and had 2 coach changes, you know. So 2 new offenses for them. It's a new offense for me also, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really happy that these players are here. You know, I'm ready to get to know everyone besides these 2 other players. There's more players on the team, too, that have transitioned also.
Justin, how important was Coach Gronhardt, I guess, to maybe not so much the final decision, but getting your interest in KU and making you want to take a look at it right away?
To be honest, he didn't push the school towards me at all. You know, we always been friends since I was at Mia's playing with him. He just said, you know what, I'm gonna be happy with whatever decision you make, and whether that come to KU or K-State or wherever you want to go, I'm gonna be happy with you. We're still gonna be close, and that helped me out a lot. That really did.
What was the decision to come to KU over K-State, though?
You know, close was a factor, and Coach Weiss was a factor also, and Coach Gronhardt. Let's just be honest. You know, and I'm glad I'm here. You know, I'm not looking back at it. I'm not mad I left or anything. So, great opportunity here, and I wanted to seize the chance.
Justin, was it hard going into this not knowing exactly when you'll be able to play, or do you feel pretty good that it's going to be sooner rather than later?
Yeah, it was hard going into it, but being close to home makes it things a little easier. Hopefully I can play right away. It's not finalized yet, so we don't know, but hopefully I can.
Justin, did your desire to be closer to home, do you think that had an impact on your Oklahoma time there and maybe served as a little bit of a distraction? Not a distraction, but just maybe affected you down there?
I wouldn't say it affected me at all. You know, I had to go with what my family and my heart needed, you know, and this was the best place for me. And no hard feelings of Oklahoma, you know, a great place. I would do it the same if I could.
Hey, Jake, everybody's pretty much expecting to see Dayne at the quarterback position, you know, for the next season. But you got this kind of billing as maybe the future quarterback of the future here. How are you going to approach that, especially having to sit out this year?
Well, it's a great opportunity for me. I mean, you know, I'm just going to be a sponge soaking up all this stuff and just, you know, have the opportunity to learn from Coach Weiss and Coach Palace and also take advantage of the time that I have with Dayne here and learning from all these guys and you know, watching how it's supposed to be done. And it's going to be a fun opportunity for me to go through this time working as hard as I can, and you know, nothing's for sure. I mean, I could be the future, I could not be the future. So I'm going to make sure I work as hard as I can to you know, solidify my spot. But at the end of the day, I'm just going to be trying to learn and soak up as much information as I can and get as ready as I possibly can to you know, hopefully play the next season after that.
Dan and Jay, can you talk about what you know about him? Maybe you've seen him on tape, but like why Jayhawk fans should be excited about getting to see Dayne or Dayne talking about Jay?
I think, you know, Dayne's 2 years ahead of me, and I got a chance to, you know, kind of follow his career, you know, when I was younger in high school and stuff, and being able to watch him in All-American game and all this kind of stuff, and just, you know, always kind of followed his career a little bit, and you know, he's just a great teammate. He's a good guy, great player, and unfortunately, you know, unfortunate circumstances happen, and I know Dayne is going to take this opportunity to make it the best season he's ever had, and you know, I firmly believe it will be. So I think Kansas fans should be really excited. You know, Dayne's a motivated guy. He's a great worker and a great teammate. So he's going to be a huge thing for this program and moving it forward.
Dayne, can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Jake and I have been able to kind of get in contact, going through this process all over again, but definitely been able to see him play. You know, he's from the West Coast, so you know, I definitely knew him, you know, coming out and things like that. And you know, when we would be in the hotel, anytime BYU was on, I knew, you know, that I was watching him and having a chance to play him. And you know, I know a few people at BYU have all talked about just what a competitor he is. You know, definitely it'll be nice to help him in the ways that I was helped by Jimmy Clausen when, you know, we were kind of going through things with Coach Weiss the first time, and now kind of having an understanding of the offense in a way that I can now not only know what I'm doing, but be able to help guys like Jake and really kind of help him get along, I mean, that'll be huge because, you know, I'm just as much invested in KU football as anyone in this building. So, you know, I want this program to be successful for a very long time. And anything that I can do to help Jake, you know, I fully plan on it, or any of the other quarterbacks for that matter. You know, we've just, obviously I've been able to kind of talk to Jake a little bit more than some of the other guys, and just having the first opportunity to meet them. But, you know, any way that I can help any of the players, whether it's, you know, Jake or any of the other offensive guys, you know, I plan on doing that because, like Jake and I both talked about, we want this place to be successful, and we know that we'll need to push each other in practice, and you know, it'll be nice having another set of eyes, you know, from a guy on the sideline that you know, has played and can kind of see things, and mentally we can talk in some of the same capacities. So that'll be great, you know, being able to kind of share those experiences and hopefully just better each other every day.
You guys committed just a couple hours apart. People around here were saying that was the biggest recruiting day in KU football history. Can you just talk about what that day was like for you guys and how much contact you had, and if you were able to sort of see the waves that it created out here?
Well, I think that, like we talked about a little bit, you know, we remained in contact going through this whole process, again, knowing that we were both going to leave, and had each other's numbers and talked pretty frequently. You know, and when I knew that this was where I wanted to be and this is where my heart was, and after calling Coach Weiss and talking to Coach Paulus and some of the other coaches, you know, he was the next guy that I called and let him know. I said, hey man, I committed, you know, what are you waiting for? Put a little pressure on him. So, you know, it was nice though. I mean, it was an exciting day for both of us, I'm sure. I know what it was like for me, and can only imagine what it was for, you know, Jake and his wife and his whole family and everything like that. So it was something that I'll always remember for sure.
Dayne, what can people expect from Coach Weiss? Players too.
Well, the biggest thing that I talked about is the honesty. You know, he's not about, you know, sending any false vibes or messages. Whatever he says is the truth, and that's something that all the players that have played for him at Notre Dame will tell you about him. All the players that, you know, I'm sure have played for him in the NFL or you know, and will get to play for him here, they'll all know and that whatever he's telling you is the absolute truth. And you know, he's intense and he's a competitor. I mean, he talks about in our meeting, you know, all the time. No one's more miserable after a loss than him. And, you know, he's just such a competitor and a guy that, you know, wants to win so bad that it's contagious. And, you know, other guys that are around him just, you know, want to win that much more. And, like I said, I'm very excited to get another opportunity to play for him. And, you know, the rest of the team should be too.
All right, thank you.